Hi, I'm Jennifer Schramm, and welcome to day 11 in this 40-day program based on A Course in Miracles, Undoing Fear and Remembering Love. Today we're going to explore projection makes perception, an idea in the Course in Miracles. Projection makes perception. Okay, so what does that even mean? It means that we don't see things as they are. We see things as we are, or we see them as we see them, or as we are in that moment. So the Course teaches that everything we perceive through the ego is filtered through fear, past associations, judgments, comparisons, conditioning, and old stories. And what we are seeing, whether it's in a person, whether it's in a situation, is our interpretation of it. So here's an example of one of my horse workshops. I think this illustrates it perfectly. So I've watched the exact same horse walk up to 5 different people. So the same horse, the same moment, and each person saw something completely different. So one says, he's so sweet. Another said, he's intimidating. Another saw him as magical. Another saw him as sad. Another saw him as uninterested. Another saw him as anger. Same horse, different minds. And every single one of them was sincere. They weren't making things up. They were simply projecting their own inner world onto what they were seeing. And we all do this. There isn't an exception to the rule. We all do it. So if your mind is anxious, then the world looks threatening. If your mind is stressed, then the world feels overwhelming. If your mind is calm, everything appears softer. So we always are thinking we're reacting to our life, but mostly we're reacting to our mind or the interpretation of life, or as I like to call it, our lens. So we're reacting to what our mind is telling us we're seeing. So A Course in Miracles says, you see the flesh or you see the light. You see the flesh or you see the light. And what this means is you see through the eyes of the ego or through the eyes of peace. This idea isn't meant to blame you or make you wrong or get you to perfect yourself more or think you need to do something different. It's actually meant to free you. Because if what you're seeing is based on an interpretation, the good news is that you have the power to choose another interpretation. And that's what the Course calls a miracle. It's simply a shift in perception. That's all a miracle is a shift in perception. So let me give you another example, a very simple example. So let's say you text someone and they don't respond right away. And maybe the ego quickly projects fear and says, they're upset. You said something wrong. You should have waited and asked differently or said something differently. But none of that is happening. It's your mind projecting a story based on your interpretation, on your lens. And another mind in the same moment after sending a text might think, oh, they're probably busy. Everything's fine. I'll just hear back from them when I hear back from them. And again, it's the same situation, different perception, different projection. So we have the power to change our perception or to change our projection. So today is not about fixing the ego or stopping your reactions. It's simply about recognizing, oh, what I'm seeing is just a projection of my mind. And I'm projecting some meaning onto something that's actually neutral. And the moment that you notice that, you're no longer inside the ego's story. You're just observing it. You're the scientist of your experience. And that shift is everything. Just stepping outside and noticing you don't have to choose this perception. So the invitation today is at least once today, when something triggers you or pulls you into a story, just pause gently and say, projection, this is my projection and it's making my perception. I'm willing to see this differently. That's all. The willingness to see it differently starts the process of the miracle. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.